Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Zwift live broadcast of the WTRL Team Time Trial. This is number 82. We have 822 teams, 5,000 racers, 100 countries with 10 zones, plus the Platinum League, which we are broadcasting now for you. Today, we will be doing the Vienna Espresso as well as Frappes for the coverage. We may have one special quick little jump over between that as well in the middle of that. But we're Tempest Fugit here, 37 kilometers, 2 laps. Going to be very, very fast out there today. We've already had some racers out on course earlier today, setting some top times in zone 1, 2, and 3. Currently in the Viennas are 53.31 from the Cryogen Blue Jays. Just a quick shout out there. 45.31. Wow, so SARS the Pros class that went out this morning already, Dave. In the Espresso.
Oh, did they really?
Enough. Yeah, so that'll be a tough one to beat. And then also a 48.15 there from Evo Warlords earlier today. And then Eat Dirt 2 with 51.45 in the Lattes. And then Eat Dirt Hex are holding out with the 57.19 over 37. So it's a longer day out on course. 37 kilometers flat, but a flat course. But, regardless of how flat it is, it's still going to be a little bit longer than what these racers are used to, I think.
Yeah, this one really reminds me of what a team pursuit would be like. As I just saw our friend Chloe Digert had a big signing with Canyon SRAM. That's really exciting. Speaking of team pursuit, she's one of the best in the world. Well, she would love this course today. Actually, this would be perfect for her. 37K, but it's going to come down to precision. So the courses that we've been racing on, also in the ZRL, we've seen some very challenging courses. I mean, we did Richmond UCI Worlds course. That's ridiculously hard. So this lets us get back to really what is pure team time trialing. We're going to eliminate a little bit of that, the sharp razor's edge of what a climber would be about, and get down to what pure time trialing is, Nathan. The times are going to be quick. Tempest Fugit, one of the first events, I'm sure that this is not laser etched in your memory, my good friend. Nathan has done, he's into that 10,000 races. But when I first started, this was one of the first courses that we were out on. I ride on this course all the time, Nathan. And Tempest Fugit, I remember looking this up a while ago, means time flies. That's the Latin translation. And I hope you're flying out there today, because you want time to go slowly and you to go like a rocket ship. So all right, Nathan, I believe we're in with the Frappes as well today. You did say we're going to take a special peek into One Rider's world, and I really appreciate you doing that. Super cool. And I think, Nathan, that really helps define what Zwift community is all about. We have all of our different categories, we have all of the different zones, but you're in the right place at the right time. We're locked and loaded. It's Platinum League.
Yeah, we're on the Platinum League. Now, we are going to jump on in with the Espressos very quickly here. We do have, it looks like, this R3R team out on course. First ones to go. So let's go ahead and head on down. We also got our splits starting to pop in here as well. In just a few moments, our splits today are going to be at, and just need to bring that up here real quick, 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers, and 30 kilometers on the day. So be on the watch out for those. We'll make sure to be bringing those on in. So we're in with the R3R boys at the front end of the Espresso. They were the first ones to go, so they were the lowest seated then on the day. We're seeing Perkins here leading things out at a 5.3 watts per kilometer. Now, this is a course that I'm pretty familiar with. I think a lot of people are familiar with this section of course, specifically around TTTs. It is used a lot, specifically because it is the flattest section of the world of Zwift that you can find for the longest period of time. The other thing about this, it was made, and this is right from John Mayfield when I went to visit out there. Part of the idea here was to make a TTT course. The idea was to create a course that was an out and back at a perfect distance that you could do a time trial on. So I think that's, obviously it's been almost naturally started to be used that way by a lot in the community, which is pretty cool to see. But solid pace here at 46 kilometers per hour, though. I think they're going to need a little bit more here. For me on this course, if my team is going below 50, I'm not expecting an invite back to the Premier League on this on a lot of these flatter sections. The 48 to 50, that's the minimum for me, and if I can go higher than that, we're excelling, because throughout the entirety of the race, it's going to be very difficult to bring back any of that time. There's a little bit of a bump here. This is really the only bump you'll be able to find out there amongst the Oasis here. That's fairly significant. Does get into a little bit of a 2%. Jumping into that is very important to make sure the speeds stay high, and then over the top of that carrying speed will benefit the group greatly.
John Mayfield, what a name. Is there many people, Nathan, who've had more of an impact in your life than John Mayfield? John is the guy who conceptualized Zwift. I'm going to say around 2012, 2013. He was living in Austin, Texas. He's still around. He's part of the Zwift family, and really is, I would have to say, a cornerstone without any doubt, as he and Eric Min took this thing to a whole nother level really quickly. But John is the guy that really had the first conceptualization. Now, there were other things out there, but nobody did quite what Zwift has done. And I think you'd agree with me, Nathan. John Mayfield is a really cool person too. I genuinely enjoy what he's all about, and he's a younger guy as well. I guess that makes sense. Is this all really? When did you first get on Zwift, Nathan? As we're looking right now at R3R, getting into the first 6K, 2015 or so. Is that when you first found it?
2015 beta invite came out. User number 3002 is what I've got for an ID. Nowhere near to as cool as the guy who has, I think it's in the single digits. I think I want to say Simon's got a 5 or something. Simon Schofield's got a single digit, and yet does not have the bike that we will not mention. I do not understand how this is working here, Simon, if you're watching, but come on now, buddy.
Well, maybe Simon's like me, because Nathan, every morning when I get on Zwift, I ride here. I head out to
that's the problem. He doesn't like to climb.
Yeah.
That's the
Well, you only get about 14 meters of climbing if you ride for an hour at 30K, right? It's
I don't
not
think
much
he
climbing
ever
at all.
signed up for the challenge. I think he just never hit the challenge button. So I mean, it don't matter how much climbing he does. It's never gonna happen. That ship has sailed. He says. So we're jumping in. We're still in here though with R3R. Let's go ahead and move our way through the espresso category. We've got Finger here from Pedal Power. Pedal Power making it interesting to see. This was a team from last week that had jumped onto our radar here. I think not a newly formed team, but a team that's back into the world of, well, maybe a newly formed at the top level. I recognize the name Pedal Power. Definitely a name that I'm super familiar with from way back in the day. But interesting enough, definitely some names here I wouldn't be expecting to be here. So a pickup here with Ostenfeld I'm seeing. Neil Ostenfeld. Wally's here as well in his Evo kit. So I wonder what's happening here. If this is a conglomerate now.
This has to be a new team, is what I'm thinking, Nathan.
Or there's some guest riding. I would assume guest riding, right, with Wally. Because, I mean, Evoke, I'm not sure that anybody's jumping off of Evoke anytime soon, but I wouldn't want to assume too much.
I agree with that. It's interesting. But one thing's for sure is the guest riders took them to a whole nother level very quickly as getting into the Platinum League. So let's explain that very quickly here. The teams that you're looking at, in most cases, you're going to see 10 teams that will be racing in the Platinum League. That's based on their time last week. So, and every week is the same. You're only as good as your last WTRL, and we're into the 82nd week in a row. 5,000 riders, over 800 teams. This is a worldwide movement, and we've definitely established a popularity, and now we're really starting to see, today is going to be a really good example of the teams that are becoming team time trialing experts here, taking the master class, because I would guess, Nathan, remember how close the last few weeks we've seen, 5 teams in the ZRL within 15 seconds of each other at the finish on a really complicated, hard course. Today, expect to see very, very close times. We could see, your top 3 times within 5 seconds of each other. As a matter of fact, that is not an outlandish prediction.
No, not at all. We've had it so incredibly close. We've seen it even closer within a hundredth of a second once or twice, which was, over 37K. If we get it that close, though, today, it's going to be, it just shows how incredibly razor edge it is at the very, very top level. That's for sure.
Guys, Nathan, they're carrying the speed that you were looking for here. I saw, it's coming down a little bit right now. They're getting right back on top of it here, but that's kind of the neighborhood that you're talking about.
Yeah, and did you see it go 47 for a second there? That would be frustration for me as a team leader. If I was a DS, I would be telling them, okay, did you see what your avatar did differently? Don't think so much about the power. Think about what your avatar is doing at the right times with the right speed and the right momentum. And so I would be really encouraging them never to allow that speed to come below 48 and always do whatever they can to have it increasing on the front if they can with the power they're bringing on through. So there's just a whole lot of, now you do see it down to 47. There's a 1% gradient right there, but with that 1% descent there, right there, what I do through this section is I actually accelerate as much as I can. I actually start to push into 6 to 7 if I'm as an A category racer to press 48, and then when you descend off of this, what ends up happening is you get into 50s to 52s because you carry speed into a downhill.
Think, Nathan, if you're coming up on a water crossing, right, and you want to get a little extra speed just to blast through it, it's the same mindset, isn't it? Just build up a little extra power, get up and over the top of that pimple, and then you'll be, you feel like you're really getting it done at that point.
100%. All right, let's go real quickly now, guys. I know you've been waiting for this moment right here. This is what it's all about every week. Nope. And that is going to be our team competition for the posters. And we've got 2 selections. Dave's selection on the week. It looks like Dave is going for the Dirty Chronicle. Dave, what's going on here, man? Come on, Stuart. Hold my wheel. I see what's happening. I see a little bit of favoritism going on here with the Stuart Featherstone, perhaps.
Absolutely. And you can see Shut Up, Pete, coming from behind.
Absolutely loving it. We're doing the best to keep up. Dirt Digglers setting a fast time for Dirty Afternoon Delight to chase. I love how they compete against each other throughout the day as well, showing it also highlights all the zones. So
Yes.
it's with that because they compete against each other within the same category, which is really cool to see. So that was the selection there coming in from Dave. I went ahead. I absolutely love TFC Hurricane Platinum League, and what I'm liking about it is the rhinos are there hanging out behind. The rhinos are hanging out behind, and then there's this guy. Like off in the back, is that Martin? I think that's supposed to be Martin getting dropped, or just hanging out with his Swedish flag, doing this little waving. I think, I think what's going on there is something going, or the Hurricanes are dropping the rhinos, right? And then they're also dropping the Swedish team off in the back there, which is I'm losing the name for the.
Tell me if I'm wrong, Nathan, but don't the rhinos look like they flopped over? Kind of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I think that's a statement from TFC Hurricane here. That's what we're going to do to you guys today. So
I agree.
Keep them up. We love the posters.
Okay, so that's Lost Ketchup. That's supposed to be Lost Ketchup back there, I believe, in the mochas. That's supposed to be Lost Ketchup back there getting dropped, saying, "Oh, okay, we can't hang on." Yeah, great job there, guys. Great job. And you
see how they all look like Eddie Merckx, right? They're just like looking ahead.
they're all bad boys. Yeah, they're all the bad boys. While the rhinos and Lost Ketchup are off the back. So it's great. And the seeding this week, just so everybody knows, Lost Ketchup, who's supposedly off the back, they are the second seed, top seeded. TBR Z6M1. I don't know. Maybe they didn't do the TBR because how are you going to do what? Maybe there could be a big ring. Maybe it's hidden. Is there a little Easter bunny? Is there an Easter egg in there? No, but TBR is the top. Then it's Lost Ketchup. Then it's TFC Hurricanes. Rhinos, they did beat last week. So that's the top four. So top competition there in the Mochas. Absolutely love what the Mochas are doing for us there.
All right, so those are our poster choices for this week. So get your best graphic designer on the team. Get them involved. We love it. We're jumping in with Z-Sun R. Now, this is a powerhouse squad. Nathan, when you see this formation, this kit, they look like a group of geese in flight, don't they? Just killing it. They might even be losing a rider right now. So remembering we have 37K. You don't want to lose someone, but if they can't hang, they can't hang. 7 going at 50K per hour is better. No, he's coming back. That's good to see here. That's hard to do as well. So, all right, you can see that it's not easy out there. And Nathan, I'll be honest, even riding with the Pacer bots, that's been good for me for sure. But you can see. So if I'm lucky enough to find a pro rider that I know and they're out on a recovery day, just trying to hold on to someone's wheel at 35, 37K per hour, if you take your foot, for me, anyways, that's obviously really low for a lot of you guys. But for me, anyways, if I try to text or take any kind of my tension off of my avatar for a moment, I end up letting a gap open up, and then it's a nightmare. So focus is critical here. Coordination amongst your team, communication, all of these things come into play today. But Nathan, I'm going to guess that today's not a day where you need to do as much talking. It's more about just put your nose on the grindstone and get after it. Make watts, baby.
Yeah, it really is. There isn't really any holding back today, which is a great TT course, a lot of fun for me at least, where you don't have to worry so much about. It's nice to have the tactics. It's nice to shine on certain days, but these days are fun because it's just about speed, and you can really just focus in on the churning of that well-oiled engine that you have gotten together with your team, whatever tactic you're bringing on the day. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. It's interesting, just actually. Like some of the funnest gaming that I've done as well in MMOs has been with groups that have rated in that way, where it's like you just are flying through different types of objectives over and over and over again with that rinse and repeat at the same kind of tactic that to use over and over again. And here adding in that high heart rate, that almost like sporting, aggressive sporting feel to it, and the adrenaline and the endorphins are going. Oh, it's so much fun. So I'm actually looking forward tonight to my go tonight with this to see
EDC?
How things go. Yeah, no, on the rivet now. It's on the rivet now.
On the rivet?
On the rivet. So same team, different name. So we're jumping on in, and it's going to be a good go. We're going to be excited for that. So now we got some times coming in. Times are coming in here, Dave.
Yeah, Red Giants, they're the team that we're with right now with the 12. So you're looking at the fastest team on course without any doubt about it. As a matter of fact, this is fascinating, Nathan. Look at the difference here, okay? The 12:23 for Zison R, the Red Giants. Then you've got four teams within 5 seconds, second, third, fourth, and fifth out on course. That's Ram Raiders at 36, 39 for pedal power. Another team we were just talking about, 12:39 is the time for the Evo Extra Turbo Snails. So here's the question then, Nathan. Have the Red Giants gone out so hard that they're going to have trouble sustaining? I'm not saying they are or aren't. I don't know, to tell you the truth. That's why we have them actually race instead of just me talking about it, because these guys are going to have to back this up now. Now, clearly, they're exceptional. This is a really good start to the race. They're a third of the way in. I wouldn't bet against them, that's for sure. As a matter of fact, the way this team looks right now, that is the platinum standard in the platinum league, and they're going to be hard to beat because trying to get back 16 seconds, there's no course features that you can try to use, right? This course is so simple that makes it pure.
Yeah, I wonder, this will be interesting to see too on that respect, because I have this theory that's developing on the whole Zwift side of things with racing, where the way that the drag is experienced in game and how the avatars function with speed and power might be a little bit. It's just interesting. Like, it's always functioning on a hill. You don't feel a hill. The hills are simulated, but you're always up against some sort of a drag in a certain way, and different drag coefficients depending on if they ever change them in game. That's all that happens when you have an arrow power up, right? Your drag coefficient gets changed a little bit. How much it's pushing against you. So it'd be interesting to see, like, as riders slow down, how much the speeds will change and how much differentiation there can be over different sections of the course. It'd be really interesting to see if they're able to bring back certain amounts of time. I'd have to agree with you. That's a huge gap, though, for the rest of the riders that are down there. But we still have Cryo RDT and PO Auto, and PO Auto have been, I think they're not only getting their tactics together about how to race a TTT, I think that they're also really focused in on this Zwift season, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a monster ride from them as they come into the peak fitness for the second half of not only the Premier League, but also into this WTRL TTTs.
I agree. I think you're going to see Nathan P.O. Auto will come in now. So they're our top seeded team, meaning they were the fastest squad last week. And I expect to see, I don't think they're going to go better than 12:23. That's the team we're looking at right now, Zison R, the Red Giants. I do think that they're going to be sub 12:30 here. So slotting in right between the Raiders and the Red Giants is going to be my guess. P.O. Auto is a well-drilled team. And now this is a course that, when you talk about does it suit anyone? Well, what it suits are riders who are good at team time trialing here, because this is a super unique discipline. The time here will be taken off of the fourth rider's wheel. I think you're going to see a lot of teams finishing with 6-7 riders actually today, Nathan. That's rare, to be honest.
Yeah, and it is rare, and it's going to keep things really fast too, Dave, right? Because of the whole idea of that.
Absolutely.
The whole idea of the blob effect, the snowball effect that is out there. So we are looking at PCH here, UK RT. That's a lot of acronyms in there. Plastic Cockneys, UK RT. I'm not sure what the RT is in for there, but Ram Raiders,
You're braver than I am. I wouldn't have even tried on that one. Yeah.
I'm giving a guess here, but they've got a good time here so far, it looks like, with that. They're sitting in top 3 right now, as of right now. PO Auto, you were right, coming in. Are they tied? Is that right?
They are. There you go. Boom. So a little quicker than even I could imagine, but that's going to be the gold standard at 12:23 at 10K. We'll check back in at 20K, Nathan, but there you go. We got ourselves a dogfight.
Look at the times across the board. Ram Raiders, Vision D-Pack, Cryo RDT, 12:39, pedal power, extra turbo snake. I mean, this is crazy how...
Holy cow.
This is going to be so close.
Got a full house.
So
yeah,
close.
Look at this. We have 3 teams on 12:36, 3 teams on 12:39, and 2 teams on 12:23. That's a really unique board. A lot of symmetry on that board right now. Play Lotto.
Pure speed, right? It all is about pure speed, and you're just looking at.
That's what I was talking about.
You're
and
right
Nathan,
on
here's
there,
what's
Dave.
fast. Yeah, and here's what's fascinating to me right now. In real life team time trials, the teams will set a schedule, right? Meaning we're going to ride, as you said, we're going to ride at 50K per hour. If we can't do that, we're not going to win. And we came here to win. right? So it looks like that's kind of happening right here with these guys. 3 of the guys are on board for riding at 49K per hour. 2 more, little bit of trouble right now. And this is a team that we're looking at BRT that's down to 5, so they can't mess around here. They'll get it back together, but that's not ideal with more than half the race ahead of you to be down to 5 guys, because some of the other squads are still rolling with, well, the maximum number of riders that you could start with today and any day on the WRT. We're into the 82nd week. The rules are well known out there, but 8 riders is the maximum. Got to finish again with 4 to get a time.
Look at that, Christian Moxon here taking a solid pull. It looks like 5.9 watts per kilogram, 48 kilometers per hour for him. It's going to be a tough day for him. You know, with the type of speed course we have here too, it really matters having every single rider with you because of the blob effect, but also just the reality of how long your pulls can be, how long your rest can be then in between them. Think about, you know, that extra 30 seconds that you get. For us, it's 30 seconds. That was what we've been doing on our pulls. A lot of teams have swapped to shorter pulls. You know, they've much shorter pulls. If you have 8 riders, you could even make it 20 seconds because I get to a point personally where if there's 8 riders, I'm like, when do I get to go? I start getting bored. I'm just sitting here for way too long. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, you know, on that thought then, so what I would coach you guys, or, you know, obviously you don't need my help there. You guys are doing a great job. But what I would say is then, Nathan, why don't you try to do 30, 35 seconds while the other guys are doing 20? You know what I mean? I would just keep you in the wind a little bit longer, because we've talked about that a lot. It's not about when the stronger riders, and, you know, that's fair to say, you're one of the stronger riders on the team. It's not about keeping the speed faster when you're on the front. It's about you staying there longer, keeping the average speed higher. I think that's the first time I put it that way, Nathan. It's not about spurts of going really fast for a moment. It's about keeping your average speed high. And that goes back to what you were saying earlier in this broadcast about setting that target. Today, 50 is a lofty goal, but I think that's what Pio Auto is doing. I think that's what Zsun R is doing. So if you want to win a bike race, you've got to be crushing it out there. This team right now, BRT, they're having a rough patch here, Nathan.
It does look like they're having a rough patch. And it does come down to, I think, the fact, look, Christian right back on the front. And I think it comes down to having 5 left and not enough rest time for some of the other riders over the threshold that they can possibly hold. I do believe that the team leaders here at this point are going to be Moxon and Van de Bosch. Exactly what you were saying. It's interesting, though, Hywel Davies struggling. I think Davies is trying to keep it together. I think he's trying to be the glue for everybody because Davies is a super strong rider. So I have a feeling that the other 2 riders, it's going to be Brooke as well as Van Rooten, that Davies is just trying to give him a wheel and make sure they hold on to Moxon's 5.4 watts per kilogram. They're just trying to keep it together here, I believe, after maybe losing a rider or 2, or perhaps only able to show up with 5 on the day. It makes things very difficult to hold those really high speeds. We do see Van der Busch now making his way through. Now here comes Brooke. Maybe I might have been incorrect. He was just trying to weld it back together. Now up in the 6.6 watts per kilogram. Van der Busch now welding it together at 7 there for just a moment. So, you know what? There is one tactic, Dave, and I'd have to agree that it's a tactic that does work. There's something that we're trying out, and I'm going to suggest tonight for those 20. If we have 8 riders, I think 20 seconds bursting, you know, if you can time the burst correctly, though, but it's very much of a gaming thing. It's very much knowing the avatars and the pixels, how they move, and knowing how to time those bursts well amongst each other. You know, I don't know how many button smashers we actually have amongst the boys that I'm racing with, but there is a reality of I mean, the timing is so incredibly important where if you don't get it right with the avatar, and I think a lot of people for so long have only focused on the right-hand side watts per kilogram as well as the upper left-hand corner with the watts, and that's all they care about, maybe the speed a little bit, and then just kick for the first one across the line for that friends list next to you. That's all they've really paid attention to, maybe a little bit, or it's just all about third person point of view. Where am I sitting in the pack? And really getting it down to a tactile feel. You almost have to have where, you know, and I get into, you know, this sounds a little bit geeky, but when I'm playing Apex maybe for a few hours straight and I really get into a groove, you start to become like one with the avatar that you start to kind of like your button smashing, the mouse along with the keyboard starts to really become one with what's going on there. Well, you hopefully after riding Zwift long enough and getting that pedal stroke and everything good enough, you start to get that same feel. So the timing then with 20-second burst, I'm kind of on a run on a little bit here, but I really think there's something to that, especially with 8 riders. Like I said, what is that? You do the math and you're sitting around for almost 2 minutes, and in the middle of a TTT at 4 watts per kilogram, 4.5, you got so much more to give, and I think you're wasting nitrous oxide that could be used on the front.
Yeah, really good point. So in The Usual Suspects, there's a great line about the greatest trick the devil ever played was convincing the world he didn't exist. Well, the greatest thing that Zwift ever did was convincing people or making you feel like you're playing a game while you're doing this, because this exercise that you're getting here, it's the very, very highest level. And Nathan, to be fair to your points, and I think these shots right here, that's what we were talking about John Mayfield earlier. How cool is that to see the teams coming back the other way out here on the course? And I love that in the event mode.
Cool.
Yeah, this is just rad to look at. So Nathan, the guys on your team that maybe aren't as strong, because on any 8-rider team, there's going to be a variation in ability level. And so for the riders that are having a little bit of trouble going at that pace, don't overdo it. Don't feel obligated to take a pull. If you're going to hit the front and bog the team down, just continue to stay in the draft and almost become a church mouse, right? It's okay if you don't take pulls, just don't get dropped. So everybody's got their own perspective on what it's like out here, and I love it. In an 8-person team, you're going to have riders that go through a bad patch at different times, and it's all about nursing those riders along. And again, let's look at the splits now, as we're going to jump in with the women here, and that's your fastest time at 13:18 Socks for Watch, the WRT version. Now they're back at it, Nathan. This is a world-class team, and they're having a world-class ride today, as they've got a nice advantage over the Wonder Women, who've been phenomenal out here. Sisu, I race like a girl in it, just 3 seconds behind the Wonder Women there. So it's going to be interesting to see what we've got at 20K. But this is not a runaway yet, but a very, very strong start for Socks for Watch WRT, and I can't say I'm surprised.
Yeah, going to be a tough day to bring that back. That's a good gap over the first little kick of 10 kilometers. I'm being told from Michael Egan over in chat that Sarsa Pros Classic was also at a 12:23 through 10K this morning. So it'll be interesting to see that time from Sarsa Pros Classic. Might be able to stick up against Z Sun alongside of that 12:23 that came from PO Auto. And those are 3 of the top teams right now in the men's side of things. And the women's side of things, these are some solid times coming on through, and that's a good call out there, Dave, obviously with Socks for Watts, but there's also the battle there going on between Sisu I Race Like a Girl and Wonder Woman and Cryo RDT. They're all right up against each other with that 10 seconds. A little bit further down, Aero Unicorns, Choppers are out there, TFC Vixen, Aeonian RT, and Sisu Do. We are looking at Sisu Do here. They were the, what seed were they out? I believe they were looking through. They were the first ones to go out, so they're trying to hold on. Okay. They're trying to hold on to that spot in the Premier League here, as we do have 9 women's teams out there. This is going to be TFC Vixen then. They've got a pretty solid time. It looked like they were at a 14:17 last time through, so they're battling out with Sisu to hold on. Socks Watch Unicorns beating them out by a few seconds, as well as the Choppers are out on course trying to chase them down. And this is going to be the Choppers right behind Aero Unicorns here. This is going to be McKay, Baldy, Robinson, Thorvaldsen. This is a solid team, actually.
Yeah, you're going to see very few teams catching the team in front of them or being caught by the team behind them as well. Again, so Claire Good, I see in the middle of this team, and Leah Thorvaldsen, as you mentioned. This is a really strong, this is the second team, I guess, but when you look at it
I wonder if they stacked it this week, Dave. I wonder.
It looks like they did. They might be moving some talent around, just having fun with that, Nathan, or trying to find the right fit for certain riders. But this is a monster team, no doubt about it. We're jumping in there with the Welsh rider, Good, as you can see that this team is really, they've got some momentum going right now. motoring through. We're getting splits coming in. So there you go. 27:57, a little bit quicker for Socks for Watch Aero Unicorns. But the fastest teams were the last teams to start. And there's no doubt that they're on a great day today when you talk about their compatriots or their sister team, the Socks for Watts WRT. As a matter of fact, they will be catching teams out there possibly today, Nathan. They might be one of the few teams to do that. So the times are just going to get faster and faster at 20K. Is there's your 27:44, but Socks for Watts WRT is going to be down into the mid 26, I would say.
Wanted to real quickly here give a shout out. I got a great message coming on through the other day from one of our Zwifters out here. And it looks like maybe a couple of technical issues, though, coming through for the rider out here, which is too bad to see on the day. But he's still hammering through. And it was a great message coming on in. And he's hanging out in the Latte class, I believe. And this is going to be Ken McGinnis.
Ken, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Ken McGinnis. So riding for ATP. He ended up having a technical issue, it looks like, on the day out here today. But Ken has his, I think it's his grandsons in London, Dave.
Yeah, Cosmo and Bruno, we appreciate you, as your grandpa really loves the fact that you're able to watch on Zwift Community Live, and it means a lot to Nathan and I that you do. So you keep up the great attitudes out there, guys, and be super proud of Grandpa Ken here, as he's motoring.
We need to see a meetup of Grandpa Ken and Cosmo and Bruno hanging out, doing their own little TTT around Tempest Fusion. Would be a lot of fun as well. But great to see Ken. And too bad we had that. Too bad that we had a little bit of a technical difficulty for him on the day. But he says he's got 10 miles to go. He let me know. So obviously coming from the US of A at ATP. Where's his team at, though, is what I want to know.
He's strong.
In the board,
Nathan,
here.
I thought you were going to say I should have a meetup with Grandpa Ken, and I'm going to bow out because I can't ride at 38K per hour like this. This guy is a monster. Yeah. So Cosmo and Bruno, I hope that you get the same DNA as Grandpa Ken. That's going to be really useful. That's
yeah,
for
ATP
sure. Although,
Nitrogen, they were sitting in 7th last time through, it looks like, too. So the team's still hammering on. They're having a good ride, it looks like. So shout out to his team. 28:41 was the time they came on through. Losing Grandpa Ken seems to make him suffer a little bit. That's the only reason why, right? Grandpa Ken's out the mix. So.
Hey, Nathan, do you mind if I take a look? Yeah, hey, thanks a lot for doing that. And again, we love when you reach out and communicate with us at Zwift Community Live. So looks like we've got some splits to look at here. Coming in at 20K, 27:41 was the fast time I saw it. Oh, boy, thanks. Hey, no worries.
Go ahead. Do the lattes. They deserve it 100%.
Sure. Let me hit this one quickly. It's 27:41, the fast time for Los Freneticos. 27:47, so it's only 6 seconds. Nathan, this is going to be really close. We'll have to check back in on these guys out here, as it's only 6 seconds back to Team ODZ, the Destroyers of Cookies, and then Team TFC Raptor at 27:51. That's only 10. Oh, this is really close. Holy moly. Kirkmeyer E-Cycling, 27:54, their time. So they're only 13 seconds out. Then just a couple more seconds back to two guys, Z-Nuts. I'm going to go through everybody here because we love having your rates with us on Zwift Community Live. The Lancets at 28:06. The RR Woolly Rhinos with a 28:13. And let's see who the Aero Press with us. And yeah, thanks to everybody for racing. That's going to be the Latte class that we're looking at. We have a lot going on, but now I think we're going to jump right in. I'll throw it back to you, Nathan, as you're getting some fast times coming in from the Frappes.
Yeah, we'll jump in with the Frappes in just a moment, but here are the times that are coming on in for them. Up at the top, it is going to be Innovation Alien Express hammering away with the 25:46. There's a battle there, but a little bit ways out. Not sure the Vikings Fenrir are going to be able to catch them with the time that they currently have on course there.
It's possible.
It's possible, but that's a pretty big gap over 10K.
I agree. You know, if you do the math, right, that means you're going to need to go a little over a second faster per K to make the catch. And it's hard to eke out any extra speed right now. When you're flat out, baby, you're flat out. And I would say that that's where we're at right now. Again, in with one of our women's teams in the Vienna category now, the Aero Unicorns, Socks for Watts, has been another one of the really cool stories to watch develop, Nathan. Empowering women. Actually, they look like they're just having an absolute blast when you look at that team and the camaraderie. And that has, I would think, for a lot of people during the real bummer that has been the COVID era, this has been one bright spot. And I'm really happy that you found that.
Yeah, they're doing an amazing job with Sox for Watts with those two teams. With Priority T, this is another team to be watching out for, that's for sure. The Wrens are absolutely killing it the last couple of weeks, and they have been a team that have been on my radar to try and start to get into that Wonder Woman I Race Like a Girl.
Yeah, they're close.
I've always felt like they've been right on that edge. Especially with their performances in the Zwift Racing League, the cryo team amongst the women, they've been right there. It's been always right on the edge here, though, in this TTT here. As we do see Klein here coming out of the Netherlands, Dijkman, and then it's going to be Paul, as well as Thurman here out of Germany. So very international team, the Wrens here. The cryo has always been very worldwide. It's interesting that some of these teams that form through Zwift that are only Zwift centric. It's, so you have teams that, yeah, exactly. You have teams that show up and they were an in real life team and they bring their club and it's like, you can tell like everybody's from one, region, which is great. That's absolutely awesome. And then you have teams that end up mixing up a little bit, but it's mainly, one of them or two of them got on, they found some buddies, and then it kind of brought more people in though throughout, if that makes sense, and from the club, and then it grew. But then you have teams like this. One or two people just formed a team that was only a Zwift team, and next thing you know, you've got this. No, it doesn't matter where you're from. There's nothing to do with in real life in any way whatsoever as far as associations go, and you end up with. I love all the flags and the ethnicities coming across the board. It's great to see. Every one of them are great representation every which way, but it's something definitely new with online racing that you've never seen before.
Yeah, there's over 400 folks that are part of the cryo family. Nathan, I'm hoping I can become the 401st. Actually, I'm trying to get my act together, and then I'm going to apply to get on the team because I love what cryo is all about. So you'll see, we believe that every species known to man of birds has now been used as a team name here. So it's just really, really cool what they're doing. ODZ, Nathan, was one of the first like Zwift teams. Look at this formation right now. I'm going to turn my attention to the Wrens here because that is beautiful. Little gaps now. If we could tighten this up. So it's an interesting day of racing, and I don't want to delve too deep into it, but as Nathan has mentioned, there's different strategies for how you get down the road the very fastest. It does depend on your team setup, certainly a lot of metrics to look at, but I really like what the Wrens are doing here right now. So, Nathan, I'm going to throw that one to you. First person view or third person? I know the answer because I've heard you mention it in previous shows. Which do you prefer?
It depends. So here's the thing. So if I show up and I have a certain sensitivity on my mouse, I'm going to compare this to gaming, right? Okay, real quickly. And let's say I have a certain sensitivity on my mouse where my mouse makes the cursor go back and forth really quickly. And I like that, right? And I'm used to that. Well, I think it's similar to that where it's like, well, this is the sensitivity setting I like. I like a medium sensitivity setting. It helps with my aim. It helps with that. So if you're not used to it, and actually there is research that shows that across the board, the best esports players go with a lower to a medium and not a really high. It's very rare that a really high sensitivity is going to do well for aiming. And it's just it comes down to basic maths really and human interaction with with reflexes. Well, I would say at the end of the day, from my experience, so what I know, and this is nowhere near, we have not had enough time in this esport to know this, that third person point of view, if you can do it, is the best. That's my opinion. That's my opinion, what I am used to, and there's reasons for it. There's definitely reasons for it. I think it's most responsive. You'll get the most energy saving. You'll see what's coming easier. You'll be able to grab onto wheels easier. And I'm able to read the board next to me in a way that I know if somebody's coming through or not. And if you can't read the board on the right, though, in a way that you can see where people are at, who's coming through and how, then a lot of people maybe are going to use this point of view. I've seen people, as far as the pros closet, talk about only using this point of view.
So Nathan, just for the point of answering Fritz's question, so show us one.
This is
first-person
one.
view,
This is one.
right?
Yep.
And
This is
then,
first.
then
This is
three.
this is third person point of view. Third person point of view. There's two of them actually. So there's one that's a little closer. 1 and 2. 3 I can't show you actually without actually being the person. So I cannot show you. Right. I can't show you the number 3 or first person point of view. But first person point of view is essentially your eyes are the avatar's eyes. So that's essentially that. In my opinion, that is the best if you can make it work. If you can make it work, it takes practice.
So for those that are wondering, what are we talking about? Well, when you are on Zwift, when you're playing the game and out riding, it's 8 different choices, right? For basically camera shots. You're like a producer of your own ride. You can choose, as Nathan said, you can be like you're looking through the eyeballs of your avatar, or you're looking from just behind your avatar, or you can look from the side of your avatar. Is it 8 different view choices that you have, Nathan?
1,
something like
2,
that.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. So there's 9 different choices that you can go from. But then you can also hit 0, and you can go all around with the. You can do all kinds of things if you hit 0. So you can do
you're going to give me motion sickness. So we're in with the Cryo RDT Rens, a team that really is showing you how to do it. They're putting on a clinic right now in time trialing, but there you go. I think I predicted into the low 26s or mid 26, a 26:11. Holy cow. So Socks for Watts is back
actually,
on
hey,
it.
this is a great one. This is a great one here, Dave. We actually have the man himself who came in and they did a great review of this actually. And Matt, I don't mind one bit if you put the link in chat to the video. But he says first overhead and rear, and that is so he's going for all 3 point of views depending on what he is doing at the time. They did a great little video of it. If you guys want to check that video out, I'm not exactly positive where the channel is at for it. It was a recent podcast, that video blog, that they did. So go ahead and check that out if you want to. Stars to Close Closet put a couple of those videos together, and they're a top team, obviously, sitting in first or second in the Premier League at this moment after this last week. So they obviously knew what they're doing.
I'm a big fan of Matt, and I really enjoyed that. It's on YouTube. Easy place to go find it for sure. So, okay, these are your splits coming in at 20K. The next check is at 30K, and that's going to be 7 kilometers before the finish. That's going to tell us, this tells us an awful lot. As the real bike race looks like Wonder Women, who have had some wins. They've been phenomenal, actually. I really have appreciated what the Wonder Women have done. As Nathan, they climbed that ladder, didn't they? Ascended from a middle-of-the-pack team to they became podium contenders, and then over the last couple of months, they've had some big wins, and they've beaten all comers, as they say. It's not like they showed up on a soft week. That's one of my big pet peeves when you hear someone say, yeah, well, she won the race, but it was a weak field. Well, it's not her fault how strong the field was, but to be fair, Wonder Woman has taken on some full-on fields here. A strong choppers team, Socks for Watts, the full 9 yards. So this team can do it when you talk about Wonder Woman. That's Carly Johan is the rider. This is Sisu, isn't it, that we're looking at, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, this is Sisu. I Race Like a Girl.
There you go.
Going to the back. Kessler there sitting in, it looks like.
Meredith
and,
Kessler.
taking her to the front. Legler's there as well. So it's a solid team, but not a lot of riders here. Only showing up with 5, is that right?
Not ideal.
So going to be a tough one. Solid 46 amongst the women, 45 though. Good speed though that they're carrying.
There's some big-time triathletes on this team like Kessler. There's Catherine Curie, who is a rocket ship. But again, Catherine has an amazing spectrum of skills, but climbing is maybe more her forte, but she does more than hold her own in a situation like this. A very, very strong rider. So this is a good example. If this team is sitting in 3rd place, almost a minute behind Socks for Watts, how good is Socks for Watts is really my takeaway there, because Sisu is a great team. It's worth noting that Meredith Kessler just did the Ironman triathlon that has been I don't know if you saw the story of the young man, the 21-year-old Downs syndrome person who finished the first ever triathlon, Ironman, I should say, not triathlon, but Ironman. It's been all over the news here in the United States, at least. It's been an incredible story. And Meredith was at that Florida Ironman. So a lot of athletes that Zwift with us and ride in the team time trials are triathletes. There's Marina Arce. She races for Aeonian, and this is going to be Aeonian that we're looking at right now. This is a team that's come on strong. Although I think maybe, Nathan, they've been focusing quite a bit on the ZRL. I don't think the WTRL, at least for the last couple of weeks, has been where they've put all of their focus.
That's a good call out, actually, and that is a reality that and it's a good problem to have. But esports has been getting so big that teams are having trouble finding where they're going to put their focus, and you're starting to get a situation where these teams are getting enough riders, though, where in the World Tour you start to see something similar, right? You start to see where this World Tour race is going on that is a very high priority for our top tier or even a mixture of tier if you can split your team up to be strong enough, right? And so you start seeing different focuses where it's like, okay, we'll focus on the TTT WTRL. Then these riders are going to be the main ones coming off the bench for the ZRL, right? Or you can mix and match a little bit. So, and that's a good problem to have in the world of esports. Yeah. I think in some ways, it does maybe start to burn teams out if they don't have enough riders. But if you do start to grow and recruit, you start to really get this always racing. The brand is always out there. The trade team is always able to kind of put its feet in the water throughout the week.
Nathan, we just saw Aeonian have to say goodbye to a rider at 30K. So actually, timing isn't too bad there. That's Heinrich, the rider that I'm talking about, the German that just came out of the group. So she did a good job, to tell you the truth. Took a pull and then left the team. That's how you say goodbye on the right foot. And we're going back in now. So this is an interesting look. See how many Hino riders there are here on this Sox for Watts. This is the fastest team in the world right now.
SZ here real quickly, though. SZ is just about to finish. I want to make sure that in the lattes, we are getting them a highlight and go through the lattes a little bit out here today.
You bet.
We've been all over the place. But lattes here, it looks like with their finish up, Gunga's here making his way to the front. There's a 6.6 watts per kilogram into his final few. And this team here, the times are coming through a little bit slower today, it looks like. See if we can get some messages.
Looks like an updating issue. Yeah.
No
worries.
For sure.
Right. So there's scheduled updates.
Sitting, though? Where are they sitting? And this is going to be SZ on the latte side of things. And I'm looking
Interesting.
through.
I don't see them in the 12 teams here.
Yeah, correct. We'll have to wait and see if we can find them out there.
Is SZ possibly in the Frappe?
Perhaps. Oh, good call. Good call. My bad. We're supposed to be on Frappes. That's why, because Nathan's just messing everything up there. That's all there is to it.
There's a lot going on. Yeah, I understand. This is Brindley of the Rowan King Gazelles that we're looking at now. This is an all-star team coming out of a lot of Welsh riders, but out of the United Kingdom. And they're there. Actually, I saw they were just about to finish.
That would have been Los Raspidos, I believe, are the team that we were acknowledging there for a moment. I would believe for the SZs as Los Ketchup, Los Rapidos, that they've kind of got this Hispanic Spanish thing going on.
Yeah.
Even though they're all Swedish, I don't know why they're stealing here. What's going on, guys? No.
Around the world, it's known. You want a good burrito, go to Stockholm, Sweden. That's where you'll find it.
Are you kidding me? Is that for real?
I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think that
have you been
do
there?
Mexican food well. They're not known for Mexican food.
Baited Nathan on that one. You baited me on that one. Good there, Dave. You got me.
Yeah, well, I got you. Yeah, you know what? I said it with my serious voice, right? It's a lot of the delivery. I love this. So, Nathan, here we go. Some of our Frappe times are coming in, but remembering here that 26:11 is, oh, no, I am wrong. I see a couple down into the 25s here. INC Alien Express is having a fantastic ride. 25:46, that's going to be 11 seconds faster than Viking Spinner, and that was at 20K. So we're going to see them not that far off, actually. We'll get a time from them as they will have gone past their Well, or maybe not, but there certainly that's the ride of the day that we're looking at from INC Alien Express here in the Frappe division. We use the coffee categories here with WTRL. It's always been that way. You go back to the development of this league, and instead of using the standard A, B, C's, and D's, so you'll find the women using Vienna, and they are absolutely right now being dominated by that powerhouse squad, Sox squad. Here's the first time we're seeing a team that looks like they're going to make a catch. Usually, Nathan, we see a fair amount of this during Thursdays on the WTRL. Today, this is the first one that I remember seeing.
Yeah, I believe the KISS Racing team is catching the Team Type 1 team just ahead of them in their last kilometer. Maybe TT1 can hold them off. We'll have to wait and see. But C King making the way to the front, as well as Crawford there. A lot of well-known names. OGs here with the KISS Racing team, been racing for a long time. Higginbottom, as well as a few others there at the front with the Team Type 1 saying, no, 189 beats per minute, just doing everything they can to hold this off. This would be interesting to see. On the espresso side of things, I do want to give a shout-out. Harry Mustard, Dan J., from Restart, looks like guest riding, perhaps? No. Excuse me. Hot rods are out there as well about to cross the line. It looks like Priority T also. So interesting to see Boniface about to cross the line there. No, I'm not going to give the images, but there is a pretty hotly contested finish happening over in the Espressos right now with the final seeds. We'll see how that ends up playing out. I am also seeing those two teams pass a lot of riders that were absolutely dropped. We said that we probably wouldn't see too many riders drop today on the flat. Well, I guess it's a little bit harder. We'll find out some more as the day goes on, hey?
Right. Well, and again, every team has their own story to tell about so for the really strong, I bet you PO Auto still has 8 riders, right? Or maybe 7, but
it's a good call. Probably. It's probably a good call. PO Auto have finished. We'll see if we can find their time out there.
Here's another team that has nearly their full contingent. Looks like we're down to 7. Again, what we were talking about there is that the teams start with 8. And typically, I'm going to say that like Richmond, fourth rider is where you take your time. We probably finish with an average of 4.2 riders per team, right? Very few teams had 5. Almost no teams had 6. Today, you're going to see a lot of teams with, I would say the average would be 6.2, something like that, for a number of riders on a team that are going to be finishing. And this is the kind of team that does a good job with that. INC Alien Express is your top team right now. Now they're not riding unchallenged. It's only 11 seconds the advantage, Nathan, that they had on the Vikings Fenrir team. So even though they're having an incredible ride, they're still not getting as much separation as you might think. They're going to have to keep pushing on. So soldier on, boys. But they look good. They look really, really good.
Yeah, they have separated themselves pretty well here. You're right. But 2 guys here, they're chasing things down a little bit, it looks like. 2 guys, where were they sitting at the last checkpoint? It looks like 26:03, so not the best time on the day for that 20K mark. As Innovation 25:46, as you were saying. So the real battle there is between the Vikings Fenrir and Innovation. I'm not sure where things stand because
that's going to be hard.
Because this is a dropped
Fenrir,
rider.
Nathan.
This is the dropped rider. So where is Fenrir is my question. Are they already crossing the line? Are they a little ways ahead? We'll have to wait and see. But this could be race 3R coming to the line as well.
They should still be out on course. They were one of our last teams to start. And again, we're not seeing too much overlap between teams. That might have been PO Auto going the other direction there. As we take a look right now at R3R here, another one of the teams that's held very high esteem in the esports world. And we're with Simpkins, and this should be it. Just around this bend, you're going to see, there it is. Boom, done and done. All right, so again, we're collecting all the data, and we'll be able to show you some leaderboards when this one is done and dusted here. So you get to know this familiar sight here. That arch is the greatest natural finish line truss in the world. As we finish up, feel like we're in Zion.
I'm being told that the teams are on, but it seems that we have gone into a really, really slowed down situation here from the sheer volume of people that are in the event. Something along those lines. So we're waiting on results, everybody, just so you know. As soon as we can get those, we will get them up on board. I know everybody shows up to a lot of people show up to the broadcast specifically looking for results. So our splits board is slowed down at this point. As soon as we do get some updates, we'll let you know. Obviously, a lot of people are finishing. We do have the back end of the Frappes as well as the Viennas coming to the line here. And, it goes to show that it really is just all about data in some ways when it comes to, well, I mean, seriously, do you have a TTT
No, right.
without the data? Without the data, what do you got? I mean...
You got another group ride, I would say, right? I get it. People take this seriously, and I appreciate it. It's fun for some. It's all business for others, or for most of us, it's a mix somewhere in between. Looking at the fastest times out here again at
Look at
20K.
this powerhouse team, Dave.
This team.
Look, they have 4 Hino kits. 4 Hino kits on this team. Like, what? Vicky Nealon, Hansen, Hubach, and Lethbridge leading it out across the line. 47 kilometers per hour. Aeonian actually being caught. The Wonder Women, next one's across the line, it looks like. When we talk about being out on a pure speed course, though, it goes to show how strong that team is, the Soxerwatts, and a pure power course.
Sync. And synced up, too. Yeah, absolutely.
Good call there.
I love it, Nathan. And this is, for a lot of riders, the best minute of their week, the finishing up your team time trial. Because you know what, Nathan? You showed up, you got it done, you were reliable, you finished what was something that not many people have the guts to do. So, Jurian, thank you for reaching out. What Watopia route is this? Tempest Fugit, right, Nathan?
Yeah, we're on the Tempest Fugit. So if you want to check it out, you can go ahead. And it was one of the expansions when the Tempest Fugit Titans Grove was released. So go ahead and head on over to those. You'll be able to check them out pretty easily. You take a left-hand turn. If you do Watopia forward, take a left-hand turn onto Ocean Boulevard and then immediate left-hand turn onto Tempest Fugit. And that will take you over to the desert as well as... Titans Grove if you want to take a right-hand turn and get a little bit more climbing and see some dinosaurs out on course. Always
I'll see you out there. I'm out there every morning at 8 o'clock.
So we should be getting results pretty soon, I'm being told. Fingers are crossed, everyone. I'm also seeing if we can jump into the Mochas. I have a feeling that they're still out on course here, a few of them, as... we wait for the results to come on in. If you also coming up this weekend, though, just a little bit of housekeeping. We have started to schedule all of the broadcasts for next week, so you can check those out. Not all of them are up, but you can start to get an idea of what we're going to be doing for the week for next week. We'll get the rest of those up immediately after this broadcast is what the plan is. We also have one of the coolest... we've been doing a lot of charity streams recently. If you haven't noticed, on Zwift Community Live, we've been doing them since since COVID launched. Essentially, there's been a ton of virtual charity rides been going on, transitioning over to virtual events to keep those good causes going, and that's been a lot of fun and really heartfelt. And Smile Train is this weekend on Saturday. And, it's not something that I was super aware of, actually, until we started working on it, Dave. I wasn't, we've done a lot for cancer. We've done, these, in my opinion, more well-known causes in some ways, but the Smile Train things, Alzheimer's, exactly. Go ahead, Dave.
Well, I was just going to say, I heard President-elect mentioning Alzheimer's in his speech, and I thought that was so cool. And it made me think of our friends at the Alzheimer's Association who had to feel really lifted up knowing that the new president cares about what they're doing. But yeah, you made a great point, Nathan. I didn't know a lot about Smile Train either. And when I tell people the story, I was just talking with my accountant this morning about it and mentioned that this is a really cool group of people. And I'd love for you to come join us. We're doing a Zwift ride, but when you learn about what they're doing, it's impactful. And you think about, just put yourself in the place of a kid with cleft or the parents or family of a child born with cleft, and think about how happy you are that Smile Train exists. Come join us. Actually, come join. You'll have an absolute blast on the ride. It's really uplifting. I'm so blown away.
Yeah, and it's going to be at 8:30 Central Time, 7:30 your time, Dave, right? And then 9:30
In the mountains,
So
yep.
excuse me. 9:05. Sorry, 9:05 a.m. is the start
that's right.
of the ride. Start of the ride. But
We have
the
a pre-show.
broadcast, we have a pre-show you can check out. So make sure to come on over and check that out. Let's go ahead and jump in though real quickly here with the finish of the. We're going to jump on in with the finish of the Mochas here because they are still out on course. Good to see. SZ here. Is this going to be lost ketchup? And this is the battle here. This is what we were talking about.
These are the guys. Yeah,
This is it. This is this poster right
wars.
here in action.
Yeah.
That's what's going on right now in front of us. So I'm wondering if Lost Ketchup is off the back there with the little Viking back there with his. Is that an axe in his hand? I gotta. It's not close enough for me to see here. I'm gonna see if I can.
It's a club. I think it's a club, like a caveman type. So they're throwing some shade.
Caveman.
No doubt. But
Nice one, Dave. All right,
so this is Los Ketchup that we're with. So, hey, look, Swedes have been an awesome part of our community. This is an all-Swedish team. They don't allow any Norwegians on, I don't think. And there's a couple Tron bikes showing you some experience. The Mocha category, did they have the fastest split time? No, the poster guys did. TFC Hurricane.
The Hurricanes by 3 seconds over the Rhinos.
They're backing it up.
Yeah, they are back. They dropped the
also
Rhinos. Lost Ketchup is pretty far back. Look at how far back Lost Ketchup is. What's going on here? Martin Jordvik, what is happening? It looks like Bergstrom can hear us and is like, come on, boys, 36.3 in. And as I move my way back here, we've got TT Snack Snakes, and then it's going to be BRT is in here, it looks like. I'm looking for the rest of this. There's the Rhinos. The Rhinos are still out on course. Maybe dropped one of the riders here, actually. So I think maybe it's just SC that's left to finish.
If I started a new team, Nathan, and I tried to use Rhinos, would you give me a come on, man? It's Rhinoed out. At this point, what new Rhino team name could you come up with, right? I don't know what I'm going to do.
The resting Rhinos. I think that's your...
the relaxed Rhinos.
The relaxed Rhinos. The relaxed Rhinos. There we go. The resting Rhinos. The relaxed Rhinos. It looks like we got a little bit of a kick here from Bergston as the Martin Jorkford coming on through. A little bit of a sprint, Nathan, actually, too.
If there was ever a team that you wanted nothing to do with, it would be Dave Towle's relaxed Rhinos. Right? That's the antithesis of the team that you're looking for. You're looking for like the fast aardvarks or something. Yeah, not relaxed.
Yeah,
it's not a relaxed sport when you talk about the Team Time Trial. You really go immediately into your pain cave. There's a lot of nerves beforehand for riders, to tell you the truth, especially those that think that they might be kind of on that bubble, Nathan, of, you don't want to be the weak link on your team. But let's be honest, somebody has to be, right? We're not all going to be Superman.
Looking through, I'm being told, I believe we have. I'm seeing this number 83 poster, and there's a little bit of like jabbing going on within WTRL. So pretty fun little jabbing going on here, actually, within WTRL. I'm liking it here, but we do have some results coming in for the Platinum League, I'm being told, and as well as some of the other zones that have come through throughout the day. It looks like, if I'm not incorrect, let's go ahead and jump on in as we can see here. It's going to be, well, we've got some music kicking already here too. So
holy cow!
Oh my gosh! So there you go, Dave. Wow, walking away with it.
Yeah, well, they're back and in full effect. Socks for Watch WRT delivers a platinum medal there on top of the table. Wonder Women, 49 flat, good for silver today. Sisu, I Race Like a Girl, getting a little bit better every week because they'll take the bronze today. And then you can see in fourth place, that's the Cryo RDT Rens. Good job today, Cryo. The Choppers in fifth. Socks for Watts Aero Unicorns in sixth. TFC Vixen seventh. Z-Sun R Hypernova in eighth. Sisadoo and Aeonian rounding out our top 10 here.
And then Pio Auto there with 44.32. Is that for real? Oh my goodness, that is a walk away.
Wow.
The Pio Auto Express there 38 seconds back innovation, it looks like. And then SARS, the pros closet, indoor specialist, able to hold on there for that third place from this morning in the zone 2. Vision D-Pack there, 45-40. WTRL Volendam. Oh, man, it was... Dave, we talked about this at the beginning of the broadcast. 1/100th of a second is the difference.
Whoa.
Over 37 kilometers there between D-Pack and Volendam. That's two of the fastest teams in the world is Zwift. Evo Extra Turbo Snails there at 45-48. Cryo RDT Vultures 45-49. Z-Sun Red Giants, and then Ram Raiders Los Torpedoes coming through for 10th. And on over to the Frappes.
Great. Thanks, Nathan. Evo Vortex 1, congratulations. A great ride today. It's almost 30 seconds faster than the Evo Warlords, who will claim the silver medal. Evo Vortex 2. Look at that. Evo sweeping the podium here today. Vortex 1, Warlords, and Vortex 2 taking the bronze medal. It's going to be the Cops in fourth. 104 back, 115 back was... Yeah, I was going to say the Cops are coming. Dirt Dragons in fifth. Valhalla Legbiter in sixth. R3R ACDC in seventh. Adam Racing Team Photons in eighth. Essex ninth. BCT in 10th. That's a good look at the Frappes with Evo Vortex. Actually, let's give a shout out to Evo, Nathan, sweeping the podium here today in our Frappe coffee class.
Lion. Nice job to Evo for sure. Latte's Viking Valhalla. 50-28, walk away with it. 21 seconds up for Kirchmer E-Cycling and Team TFC Raptors. 51 minutes flat. Team ODZ Destroyers of Cookies, the Monsters with a 51-11 there. Two guys nada, 51-28. Los Freneticos at 51-38. Team Type 1 Lancet, 51-42 in 7th place. RR Woolly Rhinos were able to stand up off the pavement and at least get to 8th, it looks like. Eat Dirt 2 there for 9th. And then Aero Press got their coffee. I like it. That's a slick name, Aero Press. Nice job there, guys. And holding on to 10th place there.
Yeah, you have to know your coffee to really get that one. They're
I'm
firing
letting my inner snobbish be known there. That's what's going on.
Yeah, right. Right. Our Black Rhinos, congratulations. This one, though, look at it, Nathan.
What? They did it. Okay, wait, hold on. We gotta rub this one in just a little bit. We gotta. What happened? What happened, Hurricane? Come on.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Oh man. Hurricane not able to back up the poster. It looks like they got off the pavement and then made it happen.
Well, and look how close it was too, right? I mean, it was not even a second difference. Listen, you folks keep having fun racing out there. We love watching. So the Black Rhinos taking it, TFC Hurricane, who throws some shade. Well, as our friend OJ Borge says, everyone likes good beef out there. Los Ketchup ending up in third. So that's the big three here in the WTRL week number 82 for the Mochas. Team Type 1, the A1Cs. Well, they not only try to keep their A1C low, they keep their time low. Great job in the Mocha category is their fourth. And Golf in fifth. Eat Dirt and Hex in sixth. Viking Osberg, seventh. Tugas Palmier in eighth. The GC Mad Jalapenos, love the name, love the team, in ninth. And then Crouch and the Snow Geese rounding out our top 10 for the Mighty Mocha category.
Next week, number 83, sign up prior to 7 p.m. UK time on Wednesday, 1 p.m. Central time. Next Wednesday, registration closes 27-ish kilometers. We're on Watopia again? Exclamation mark, question mark, exclamation mark. You know Martin put that one in there, that again. Hilly route for 3 laps. Oh, big ouch. Forward hilly climb is like an all-out 2-minute everything you got. I mean, ow. This is going to hurt, and it's going to make things really interesting because blowing it apart is going to be the name of not the game. How do you keep it together, I think, on Hilly Watopia? That's one's going to be really interesting. If you're looking for a tactical race next week, make sure to jump on in there. Also, big shout out on the course records that were set for the day. I believe Sox Watts threw that one down. P.O. Auto also. Vikings Fenrir, Viking Valhalla, and Black Rhinos. I think Martin, let me just double check. Are these all
Every one of
new?
these.
I believe every one of these is new course records. Martin, can you confirm that these are all new course records or no?
They certainly look like it. Give me 2 seconds. I'm battling with Zwift power at the minute. That's dying rapidly.
Right on. I believe these are all new. No worries. I think they all are. I think
All
are.
of them apart from Vikings Fenrir.
Gotcha. So congratulations to everybody for the new course records. It'll be a little while before we get new ones on that. That's Martin from WTRL. Always hanging out in the background. Always getting all the work done. He's a real hero out here when it comes to making this all happen. So Dave, that's number 82 done and dusted.
Martin also plays that music that you're hearing. He does that on a laptop.
Well, if you saw him, he kind of looks like he might be DJing.
He's got a turntable or something.
I mean, hold on. Like, if we can just, well, he does look like he's got a turntable. Oh, he's actually doing a little. Oh man, good stuff, Martin. All right. So, hey everybody, we're Zwift Community Live. We had a lot of fun broadcasting today. Number 82. Make sure to sign up for Saturday morning's ride for Smile Train. Make sure to go check out what Smile Train is about. We're going to have a great time raising funds for that amazing charity. And then from there, we'll be back next week, Monday, for the Premier League's TTT and right back into a 0L. Lots of other work going on in the background, new plans going on. Reach out, everybody. We love to hear your messages as well. Share up the broadcast, hit those follow buttons, turn on your notifications. Helps us a ton. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate you. I'm Nathan Guerra, Dave Towle. We're Zwift Community Live. As always, right on.